I'm Taylor.
Hi, I'm Channing.
We are partners on the healthcare recruiting team with our LHI contract, and we're excited to share some of our openings with you this week.
Yeah, I'm definitely really excited about it. But before we talk a little bit about those openings, you want to tell you who Matrix Providers is and kind of what we do. So we are a service disabled owned business. So we do contracts with government agencies to provide healthcare professionals to military and government hospitals and clinics all throughout the United States. We employ a bunch of different types of healthcare professionals, from physicians to allied health to CMAs, technicians, all the things. So basically, if you are a healthcare professional, we probably have a position open for you.
Yes, and always are looking for individuals who are just as passionate as we are to provide great care to our military service members. And we are adding individuals to our team. So this week, we're going to talk to you about a few of our clinical psychologist openings we have across the United States. So I'll go ahead and start, if that's okay. The first one I have is a part-time opening in Augusta, Maine. This role is going to be 1 to 2 days per week. Augusta is the easternmost state capital, and it's about 3 hours north of Boston. And then the second opening that I have is also part-time. This role is in Somersworth, New Hampshire. This is going to be 2 days per week to start, but will eventually drop down to 1 day. And I do know that they are open to potential telehealth opportunities as long as you can commit to at least 1 day per week face-to-face. So that's awesome. And Somersworth is kind of like right in the middle of Boston and Augusta. So it's about an hour and a half north of Boston.
So I didn't know that. Those are cool. I did not know that about those locations. That's awesome. And kind of in relation to Taylor's really hot jobs, I've got a couple that are heating up as well that I'm excited to talk about. So the first position, actually, it's a really cool opportunity because it's both open to someone who's interested in full-time or part-time. So basically, if you're interested in working 3 days a week, great, we have that. If you're interested in working full-time, 5 days a week, we've got that for this position too. So it's actually located in Lawton, Oklahoma. So if you haven't heard of Lawton, it's actually adjacent to the Fort Sill Army Post in Oklahoma. So Lawton's got some really cool landmarks and museums relating to like the Comanche and the military. So it's a really interesting place. And then the second position is actually a full-time clinical psychologist in La Crosse, Wisconsin. So if you haven't heard of La Crosse, it is set on the Mississippi River, and it's a great location for bar hopping and bird watching. And I know Taylor is an avid bird watcher. So I think that you would love La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Yay! I'm definitely an avid bird watcher. I can improve, but that's something that's one of my biggest hobbies. But anyway, so what can you expect working as a clinical psychologist for us? We wanted to give you a few facts just about the facilities and the scheduling, because these are some commonly asked questions we have during our interview. So just to touch on the facilities, they're super laid back. It's a very flexible environment. And on average, you'll only see about 3 veterans per day. So we're super mindful of your scheduling.
Yeah, I think that's a great piece to point out, Taylor, because basically the amount of appointments that you have per day just depends on the amount of disabilities being claimed. So if we've got a veteran with a multitude of different disabilities, that appointment's going to take a little bit longer. And so we do, schedule that out for you, make sure that you have time for dictation. So during the actual appointment time with the veteran, you're really able to be able to devote that entire time to doing the exams necessary for that veteran. That's definitely a really great piece to point out. Another cool thing is the License Portability Act, which I think Taylor would really find interesting. So essentially, this license allows you to practice in any of the 50 states. So if you are a psychologist, licensed with a unrestricted active current license, and maybe you're located in Mississippi but you're interested in moving to one of these areas, you can do so without having to be licensed in Oklahoma or New Hampshire. So Taylor, I think that's something that is really cool for you.
Yeah. No, if you're like me and you like to move whenever you get bored, so every 6 to 8 months, I like to make a cross-country move, whatever I'm feeling that day, I would be able to work in any of the 50 states as long as I have a license in any one of them. So that's a super cool thing if you are ever open to relocating. But we're so excited to work with you. And we would love for you to reach out to us directly if you have any questions, or feel free to pass on our information if you know of anyone interested, you can find our contact information in the comments below.
Yeah, definitely. Like Taylor said, we hope to hear from you. But if the roles that we talked about, aren't really in your wheelhouse or your specialty, maybe you are an audiologist or nurse practitioner and you're looking to work in a different state, please go to jobs.matrixproviders.com. This website is our website, so it has all of the open positions that we have, and the application process is really quick. Once you submit your resume, fill out the application, and one of our healthcare recruiters will be in contact with you with more details. So that's all that we have for this week. Taylor and I are excited to come back next week, but for now, we are going to sip some of our coffee and hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks.
Yes. See you next week.
See ya.